who's new, who's not. We continue today the learning Unreal Engine. So last time we finished our first person shooter, and in between I also put this my logo as a 3D here. It's a 3D logo made by myself. I need to upgrade a little bit, but I'm pretty satisfied how it came out. So this is the game that I built. So let's play it quickly through. Let's show it to you guys, and then we're gonna continue with character development. So you gotta shoot targets. It's a little laggy because the level is huge. One is there. Don't see that. This is destroying itself. One here, and that's it. Game is simple, but we just did it as a learning. So we continue with the other one now. So I already started the level, but we're gonna follow next video and then go from there. So I guess let's go.
Create the required assets for our third-person character. We're going to create character and animation blueprints.
Okay.
Then select the character mesh and animation blueprint in the character and add idle animations from the StackUp assets. I've gone ahead and created a new level in the StackUp project.
I have that ready.
You can do this by going to File, New Level, and selecting the template default from the pop-up.
Yeah, I don't have that template default.
The first thing we're going to do is create a new folder to hold all of the things we're going to create in this course.
Okay.
To do this, we need to open our content browser by clicking the content drawer button in the bottom left corner of the screen. Because we're going to be creating quite a lot of assets, I'm going to dock this by clicking the Dock Layout button. Now I'm going to right-click and select New Folder. I'm going to call the new folder Third Person Character Course.
So let's do it so we're not following behind much. So we're in the StackObot. Let's go content. I gotta move this so you guys don't see it. New folder. What it says? Third person character course. Okay. And here he does blueprints. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Wait, no.
Inside, I'm going to create our character blueprint and our animation blueprint.
Okay.
First up, I'm going to right-click and go to Blueprint Class. From the pop-up, I'm going to select Character.
Okay.
I'm going to call this BP_stack bot. Next, I'm going to right-click again and go to Animation.
Wait. BP_stack void. That's a face. Okay, so now he goes animation
blueprint and select the SKBot skeleton.
Animation blueprint, SKBot skeleton. This one. Okay, and how we...
This is the skeleton of the character mesh that we're going to use.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to click Create and call this ABP_stackbot.
ABP, okay. Okay, so we're using this character's mesh.
So I'm going to open up BP_stackbot. Then I'm going to drag the tab and put it in the top of my normal view.
BP_stackbot. So I'm going to open this up. I don't like that this screen is on my screen and it bothers me a bit, so I need to... I can't make it... I can go back to tab, but then in the tab it's a small one, so I don't want... Okay, so I'm gonna put it on the side for now. Let's see, can I... Wait, what if I do this? Low. Ah, you can't dock it. Shit, my bad. It's okay. Let's figure it out then. Okay, so this is this. Who messaged me right now? Who needs me at the moment? Nobody. Okay. So we're in StackBot. Let's see.
Viewport. This just means I can swap between the map and our content browser, and then the blueprint that we're working on.
Okay.
In the top left corner, I'm going to select the mesh component. I'm going to come down to skeletal mesh and set this to be skm underscore.
Okay, so mesh, skeletal mesh, and then that's on the event graph. Mesh. He goes to the right. Skeletal mesh asset, right? That's what he changes?
Or bot.
Mesh, yeah, okay. So he put that as a SKM bot. Okay. But what if I don't have these before? Do I need to start like with a character with some blueprint, or like he uses assets? I would love to learn how to do it from the scratch, but okay, I understand.
In the viewport, you should now see that our character has appeared.
Okay, yeah, viewport. Is the character there? Yes, there is. Okay, let's see.
At this point, I'm also going to select the anim class, which if we drop this down is the ABP underscore stackbot.
So anim class is ABP stackbot. Where is anim? Anim class is here. ABP stackbot. Okay.
That we just created. I'm going to lower the character down.
Okay, lower
And
character.
turn him through 90 degrees so he's facing the same direction as our directional arrow.
Okay, so directional arrow needs to be the spot. Okay. How do I know that it's all the way low? How do I know it's on the ground? How do I know? How do I know it's on the ground? I'm gonna do the same with the wireframe also. You can't move wireframe? Really? Wait. Oh wait. Maybe I don't have to put him on the ground, but I need to put him on the frame.
Lower the character down and turn him through 90.
You just need to lower it, not lower it all the way on the down. Okay, gotcha. Let's go up again then. Okay, that's fine. And it looks towards the arrow. So arrow is the movement side.
So he's facing the same direction as our directional arrow. You'll notice that the capsule is too big. This will result in the character floating and also hitting things as he walks under them.
Okay.
We're going to change the capsule half height to 60.
Capsule height. Where did you get that? Capsule half height. Oh, okay. Oh. Head is hitting something, feet are not, so we should do just a tiny bit of moving. Perfect. I think this is fine. Good.
This now means the capsule is at the bottom of his feet and below the top of his head. Going to compile and save, and then move across back to the map and select the animation blueprint.
So are we gonna use the ABP stackbot now? Okay, cool. Got it. And it does have that output pose right there. Okay, cool.
In the animation blueprint, I'm just going to drag in a_bot_idle and plug this in.
Where did he get that from? Oh, in Asset Browser. Oh. That's cool. So now it should.
To the output pose. When we compile, we should see the character.
Ah, you compile, then it starts doing things. Oh, little dum dum went to in knees, you know, like relaxed position a little bit.
Snap into an idle animation. We go back to the blueprint to confirm that we selected the right animation blueprint, and we can see him now playing the idle animation. In the next video, we're going to add a basic camera set.
Okay. So let's grab a next one. So we do have a stack bot that it's crouching a bit. Nice. Okay. But these are all the movements that they are made for the stack bot. I wonder if I would have different character, will these move further? Okay, where is this? Why is this now all gone? I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so this is working. So next one, where is the next? This. Adding a basic camera and placing the character in the world.
Now we have our basic components set up, making use of some of the available assets. We can now move on to giving the player the ability to see the character. In this video, we're going to add a camera and place the character in the world.
Okay.
We're going to add components to the character for the camera. These are a spring arm component and a camera component. The spring arm holds the camera and allows us to set the distance the camera is away from the character, rotate the character around a fixed point, as well as handling collisions with geometry to avoid clipping. We'll be placing the character in the world and setting up auto possession so we can preview our camera placement and make adjustments to get the right feel for the third-person view. Now we're going to add our camera components to the character blueprint.
Okay.
I'm going to open up the character blueprint, and in the left-hand side, I'm going to click the Add button. I'm going to scroll down and select the spring arm. With the spring arm selected, I'm going to click Add again.
Spring arm. Okay, so we're gonna go back to back spot. So we're gonna add a spring arm here. Cool. We're gonna name it as a spring arm, right? Okay, that's fine. It's okay. Where did he go now?
Add again and select camera. Keeping the spring arm selected whilst adding the camera.
Ah, so if you keep this on, add camera. That's fine. Okay, so it puts underneath the...
It will automatically set the camera as a child component of the spring arm.
Okay.
It will also place the camera at the end of the spring arm.
Gotcha.
We should also set the parent socket to spring endpoint.
On the camera? Parent socket. Spring endpoint. How did he select that?
We should also set the parent socket to spring
Ah, from here. Spring endpoint. Okay, cool.
endpoint.
What does it do?
With that done, we can compile and save.
What did that do? Why they don't explain what they're doing?
And then drop the character into the viewport.
Okay. Let's put the character in the game.
Once the character's in the viewport, we should get a preview which will show us what the camera is going to look like in game. This is a bit low, so we need to move it up. I'm going to swap over to the blueprint, select the spring arm, and then move the spring arm up 50 units.
Spring arm up 50 units? How do you like calculate the units? Ah. Okay, It shows you the units. Okay, cool.
When we compile and go back to our level, we should now see that we've got a much
If you compile, it is higher. Yes, it is. Good.
higher camera. I'd like to see a little bit more of the floor behind the character, so I'm going to go back once again, select the spring arm, and change the target length to 350 units.
Ah, so it makes it a little bit longer. So this is third person, basically, all of it. Oh, it put a little bit further out now.
Just going to check what that looks like, and this is now looking a lot better. To be sure about what our camera view is going to look like, we need to check it in-game by possessing the character. To do this, we need to delete the player start, select the character, and in the search box, type possess.
Select the character and then possess. Okay. Let's remove this. Delete. Select the character. Search possess. Okay.
We want to swap auto possess player from disabled to player 0.
Okay, so that's player 0.
To test the character, we want to play the game in a new window. This will ensure the correct aspect ratio when we're previewing. So click the 3 dots and select New Editor window. We can now see our character in the centre of the screen, well placed with a good amount of the world behind the character and a good view of what's in front. Now the camera is positioned and possession is set up, we can move on to setting up our controls. In the next video, we're going to use the enhanced...
So basically he's just showing a couple of things. So it already has music and everything. Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's save. Save all. No. Where's save? What? Why can't I save? Save all. Save. Ah, it still wants. What is this? Whatever. Let's save that as it is. Okay, so I guess next topic. It should be long ones, but I don't know why they're like so short and gloomy.
Now
6 minutes.
Assets sorted. We're going to set up the control system to allow the player to control the character.
Okay.
We're going to make use of Unreal Engine 5's new enhanced input system. Unreal Engine 5's enhanced input system uses input action assets and an input mapping context to configure our controls. The actions, once created, are set up inside the mapping context with addition of input modifiers to handle inversion of inputs when using WA, S and D, as well as dead zones for analog thumbsticks on gamepad controllers. The mapping context is then added as part of the character blueprint to enable the use of the enhanced input action events. To start with, create a new folder called Input.
Okay.
Inside,
So next to blueprint and input.
right-click and go to Input, Input Action. I'm going to name this IA_move forward CC. The IA stands for Input Action, move forward.
IA move forward CC. Okay.
Forward is the action that we're going to do, and CC for character course, just to keep these input actions separate from the input actions already in the Stackerbot project. I'm going to open up the input action and change the value type from digital ball to axis 1D float.
Okay, but why?
This will change the input's behavior from being an on-off button to being a -1 to +1 float variable.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to save and close that down. I'm now going to duplicate the input action twice by pressing Ctrl and D. The first one will be IA underscore move right CC.
And then left,
And the
right.
second one will be IA underscore turn CC.
Turn. Okay, right and turn. Okay, let's see. Okay, got it.
These input actions will be used for moving left and right and turning. The next thing we need to create is an input mapping context. I'm going to right click and go to input and select input mapping context. I'm going to call this IM for input mapping underscore third person CC.
Input mapping. Okay. Okay.
And save it. Now we need to add the input actions to the input mapping context. We need to add the input actions to the mapping list. To do
Third person CC
the
open.
plus next to mappings, and from the drop down select the input.
Okay. Relax a little bit.
This, click the plus next to mappings, and from the drop down select the input actions we just created. Putting CC in the search box should filter the list to show the input actions we just created. I'm going to start with IA underscore move forward CC. Now we need
Okay.
to add the buttons that we'd like to use for this input action.
W.
By clicking the icon, we can then press the button on the keyboard and
Ah, okay, cool.
it will automatically select the chosen control. With W added for forwards, we're now going to add S for backwards. Because
Ah.
S is the negative of forwards, we need to go to the modifiers and add a modifier. From the drop-down, select negate, and this will change the input to -1.
Ah, so okay. Negate. Negate. Okay.
One instead of +1. The last control I'm going to add is the gamepad left thumbstick y-axis. So I'm going to add a control binding, and from the drop down, select gamepad, and then I want left thumbstick y-axis.
Ah, so he makes it also for left thumbstick y-axis. Okay.
For any thumbstick, we need to add a dead zone. So I'm going to add a modifier, and from the drop down, select dead zone.
Modifier. Dead zone.
I'm going to expand this out and change the type from radial to axial.
Axial.
This is because the thumbstick is only working on one axis. So we only need the dead
okay.
zone for a single axis.
Gotcha.
The input actions and control bindings are shown here. Feel free to pause this video whilst you set those up.
Okay, so basically, it teaches you to do this yourself, pretty much. Okay. So W key, S key, gamepad, XL, EA, move right, CC. Okay, so that's basically is gonna be a next mapping, right? Move right. So this is this one. And then we're gonna start putting modifiers on. Right? Yes. Okay, so D key, A key. Trigger nothing on this one. This one is a modifier negating. And we're gonna add gamepad 2. And that's x-axis, axial. Gamepad left thumbstick, x-axis, right? And then axial with a dead zone. And where did I put the axial on it? Under the dead zone. Axial. Gotcha. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, move forward, move right, one more. Turn. Never mind. Game here. CC, turn. Plus. Wait. Mouse X. Mouse X. And then gamepad right thumbstick X-axis. Right thumbstick X-axis. With an axial. And a dead zone modifier. Gotcha. Okay, so buttons should be all mapped now. Let's open up. Let's see now. So we have forward, W, S, and gamepad. With a dead zone modifier, we have right with a DNA, with a left thumbstick, and we have a turn, a mouse, and a dead zone. Beautiful.
When you're ready, continue watching, and we'll create the blueprint logic for each of these input events.
Okay.
With the control binding set up, now we can go over to the character blueprint and set up our logic. In the character blueprint, we're going to navigate to the event graph, and below the...
Okay, so we gotta go back to BP Stackbot, and we're gonna start doing these events.
existing nodes. We're going to right click and type event possessed.
Event possessed. Okay, let's do it.
From this, we're going to drag out of new controller and cast to player controller.
Okay, cast to player. Got it.
From here, we're going to search for enhanced and choose get enhanced input local player subsystem.
Enhance. That's from a controller. Get. This one.
Then going to drag out of here and search for add mapping context.
Good. Got it.
This node allows us to add our mapping context to the player controller. From the mapping context dropdown, we're going to select IAM_third person CC.
IAM underscore third person? Okay, gotcha.
Next, we're going to create the logic for our input actions for movement.
Ah, okay. So that can go back here, and this is a nice node. Okay, good.
We're going to right click and look for Move Forward CC.
Ah, okay. I opened them.
The input action event for Move Forward is going to call an Add Movement input node. The Add Movement input node requires a world direction and a scale value. For the scale value, we're going to use our control value.
Scale value is action value.
And for world direction, we're going to make use of the control rotation of the character. So I'm going to right click and type get control rotation.
Okay. Okay, got it.
From this, we're going to break the rotator. And this is because we only want to use the yaw parameter. I'm going to drag out of yaw and type make rotator.
Okay. Now what?
Now this will connect the yaw to the roll. So we're going to disconnect that by holding Alt and clicking, and then reconnect the yaw input.
Ah. Zio to Zio. Okay, that's fine.
From here, we're going to drag out, and we want get forward vector.
Okay, got it.
Our forward vector is then going to be connected to the world direction of our add movement input node.
Ah. Okay.
I'm then going to create the move right CC event node.
Okay.
I'm going to duplicate the add movement input with Control D.
Ah,
Connect.
so that one we can. It's gonna be the same. That's fine. Let's leave it like that. So they're in the same places. Come back.
It to the triggered pin.
Okay. So yeah, we can use these together already. That's fine.
Now I'm going to drag out of our make rotator and get right vector. This is going to be the world direction.
What? Ah, get right vector. And this one can go world direction.
Move right. And we're going to connect the scale value to our control action value. The last event we need to create is for our turning. So I'm going to right click and type turn CC and select IA_turn CC. And from here, I'm going to drag out and type add controller yaw input. I'm going to connect the val to the action value. And now we should be done. So I'm going to compile and save and go back to our map.
Wait. Where did the last one go?
The action value.
Action value. Okay. I didn't listen to that.
And now we should be done. So I'm going to compile and save and go back to our map.
Okay.
Now press play. And now when I press any of the inputs, the character will move around. Moving.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah! We have basic controls! And some weird music. And some weird music. Cool. We have a character that moves. Somewhat.
The mouse will spin the character. And we can do these all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
With the controls set up, we can now move our character around. At this point, it's purely functional, but we will be adding the visual aspects, such as animations, a little later on in the course. Next up, we're going to return to our camera and look at some options for alternative third-person cameras and how to implement them.
Okay. Cool. Next thing. Or is it here?
Third-person games can use different cameras to provide their signature feel to gameplay. In this video, we're going to explore a more action-styled, over-the-shoulder camera.
I'll be back in a second, boys and girls. Give me a second. Quick. Pee-pee break. Me. To me. Listen to the song until I clean my glasses quickly. Alright, enough. Let's go.
Right. Similar to what you might find in Gears of War or Fortnite, we're going to set up 2 locations for our camera, one looking over each shoulder, and give the player the ability to swap between them.
Ah, okay.
We're going to start by renaming the existing camera and spring arm components we created earlier.
Okay.
This will make things easier to manage later on, and is generally good housekeeping. For this camera setup, we're going to create a new camera and spring arm, and set the auto activation settings on each camera. To enable shoulder switching, we'll be creating a new input action, which will trigger a timeline which will move the camera. We're also going to add some variables to enable tweaking of the camera positions later, and use the construction script to ensure the correct camera positions at all times. The first thing we're going to do is rename our original camera. So in the character blueprint, in the component.
So in beep beep spat stock is stack spot is we're gonna do all these things now.
List. I'm going to rename these and place follow in front of each of their names. So we'll have the follow spring arm
and follow camera. Okay. That's easy. Okay.
And the follow camera. This will help us differentiate them from the new camera and spring arm we're going to create now. So now we're going to select the capsule, click add, and add a new spring arm.
Oh, for the capsule? Okay, let's add a spring arm.
And camera.
And the camera for here. Okay.
As we did the first time round. The camera is parented to the spring arm, and we're going to set the parent socket to spring endpoint.
Right, this was the spring endpoint. Good.
I'm going to rename both of these shoulder.
But which shoulder? Should we? What? I'm a bit slow today. I'm like sleepy.
So we have a shoulder spring arm and a shoulder camera. So that our character uses the shoulder camera, we need to go to the follow camera and turn off auto activate. We can now go into
follow camera and auto activate off. Where's that? Ah, here. Okay, found it.
The viewport and move our shoulder spring arm to where we want our shoulder camera to be. We're going to move it up to the same height as the follow camera, and then we're going to move it.
Okay, so now let's start moving the cams. Okay, so shoulder camera is set same height, but on the shoulder. So this is the point. And let's say this way a bit more. 30 points about?
Across. I actually want this at minus 45 units. So I'm going to change my grid snap settings to 5 and move it across 45 units. I'm going to change this back to 10 because generally 10 is fine. I'm going to compile and save. In the input folder, I'm going to create a new input action and call this IA_show switch CC.
Okay, so in here, IA, what did you? Input action, right?
In the input folder, I'm going to create.
Okay, let's go there. So I'm not, okay, so we are in input.
Create a new input action and call this
input action. Okay, and called it what?
IA_show switch CC.
Show switch CC. Okay. Okay.
Hold a switch. I'm going to open this up, and this time I'm going to leave this as a digital ball.
Oh, so this time it's digital.
Let's save it and close it back down. Now in the input mapping context, I'm going to add our mapping.
After turn CC. Okay, add a mapping. What he adds?
Search for our newly created show switch.
Ah, show switch. Okay. My stupid keyboard died again. What the fuck is this with the USB port? God fucking damn it. Why are you dying all the time? Piece of shit. Wow. Keyboard will not come back. Beautiful. What else is new? Can't fucking program if keyboard is not back. Came back. Stupid. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this nonsense sometimes. It just randomly dies. Especially if I've been pressing a lot. So switch.
CC and set the controls. I'm going to set these to Q.
Q. Ah, so he does Q and E for the...
And gamepad left thumbstick button.
Gamepad left thumbstick button? Left thumbstick button. Ah, this one here. And this one?
I'm also going to add triggers to both the controls. So under the triggers, I'm going to add an element, select the drop down, and choose press.
Ah, so it only works when it's pressed. Pressed?
Do the same here.
And that one same in here. Okay. Pressed.
So these are both set to have triggers pressed. This will mean if we hold the button down, it will still only trigger once. This stops the camera from constantly flickering and never actually changing sides. So I'm going to save that and close it down and go back into our character blueprint.
Okay. Save and back to character blueprint.
In the event graph, under the other inputs, I'm going to right click and type IA_SHO, and we should get our shoulder switch CC input action. For the shoulder switch, we're going to use a timeline to move the camera. So from triggered, I'm going to drag out.
Wait.
For the shoulder graph, under the other inputs, I'm going to right click and type IA_S.
Yeah, got it, finally. I don't know why sometimes I can't find things and he can.
HO, and we should get our shoulder switch CC input action. For the shoulder switch, we're going to use a timeline to move the camera.
Okay.
So from triggered, we're going to drag out and create a timeline. The timeline we're going to call T_show switch. I'm going to open up the timeline and set the length to 1 second. I choose to add a float track and name this
I still can't.
_show switch.
Ah. Okay.
I'm going to open up the timeline and set the length to 1 second.
Ah, you can even open these? Really?
I choose to add a float track and name this cam location blend alpha. For the curve, I want a curve that goes from 0 to 1 with at 0, 0 and then 1, 1. And I want a
Okay, what?
drag out and create a timeline.
Okay.
The timeline we're going to call T underscore show switch. I'm going to open up the timeline and set the length to 1 second. I choose to add a float track and name this
Why did you... change this to 1? Okay, please.
cam location blend alpha.
Okay, now it worked. Alpha.
For the curve, I want a curve that goes from 0 to 1 with at 0, 0 and then 1, 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a gentle acceleration into the movement and then a gentle deceleration when it comes to a stop. This will
Okay.
just make the camera transition nice and smooth.
Okay.
So I'm going to right click and add 2 keys to our curve. For the first key, I'm going to set this to 0 and 0. And for the second key, I'm going to set both values to 1. Time 1, value 1. I'm going to right click and then set auto as my tangents on both keys. This will then give us that gentle acceleration
Okay.
and gentle deceleration as our camera moves. So I can now close this and note that the timeline now has a Camlock Blend Alpha.
Oh, okay. Stop switching itself off, you stupid fucking keyboard. The fuck you want from me?
The timeline is going to set the relative location of our shoulder spring arm. So I'm going to drag the shoulder spring arm in, drag out, and type set relative.
Which one he grabbed? Which shoulder cam? Ah, shoulder cam.
Shoulder spring arm in.
Shoulder spring arm. Okay.
Drag out and type set relative location.
Location.
I'm going to plug this into the update. I'm going to drag out of new location and type lerp. This will give us a linear interpolation between the two vectors. A
lerp.
and B, based
He did lerp here. Oh no, this was... No. Drag L. No. Doesn't want to. Doesn't matter. Either way, we need lerp. Ah, vector lerp we need. Okay, that's the thing. Better.
Based on the alpha. The alpha is going to be driven by our curve. And then for A and B, we're going to...
Alpha is driven by a curve. Okay. Why? Ah, alpha is driven by a cam location. Okay, gotcha.
Our camera locations. So for location A, we're going to use the start location of the camera, which is minus 45 on the Y and 50 on the Z. For location B, we're going to use positive 45, which will be over the other shoulder, and 50 again for the Z.
Right, because we can put it on both shoulders.
With that set up, we should now be able to go and test it. So I'm going to compile and save and go back to our map. I'm going to press play. And now when I press Q, the camera will swap sides. At the moment, the camera will only swap sides once. So we need...
Okay. Compile, save, check. Okay, it did something for a second. What is this nonsense? Doesn't matter.
We need to go and change that. Back in the character blueprint, we need to add a node between our control and our timeline. Move these out the way slightly. And what I'm going to add is a flip-flop node. A flip-flop node swaps between exiting in pin A or pin B every time it is pressed. So the first time it will go through A, the second time B, and then keep flipping and flopping. We now need to plug B into reverse. Note that we've used play in reverse and not play from start and reverse from end. This will prevent the camera from jumping if we press the control a second time. Let's go and give that a test.
Okay. But it's switching only between the one shoulder and real one. Okay. Ah, maybe we haven't done the other one yet. Let's see.
Press play. When I press Q, we'll swap to the right shoulder, press Q again, and we come back to the left shoulder.
I don't. I do not. I do not. I have something off. But what is off? Goes only to middle. Not to the other side. Why? Huh. Go away. Mine doesn't work like his works. Question is now why? Something with the camera. Maybe this gives a better view for the thing. Let me see. I can do it right here too. No, it still goes to the middle. What is my camera's file? Minus 50. Mine is on minus 50 already from the get-go. On a Z-axis. That's where my problem probably comes from. This one, right? Yes. This should be the... But let's see. 50 and 50. Oh, wait. I can do it right here. Still doesn't do it. Oh, wait. I could see the... Go away! What did I need to press to get the mouse working? F11 or something? How did I get the mouse? Where's the game? Oh, it doesn't show the game. Okay, why? Simulation, I can't see shit. I have this stupid error somewhere still. I don't know what that is. Fudge. What is this doing wrong? Why Why it doesn't go over the other fucking shoulder? Like, this value doesn't do shit. What if I put 0 in here? So seems like the 45 is not a... Is it a fucking center? I have no clue. So the first shoulder camera position, follow camera is 0, 0, 0. Okay. Shoulder cam is minus 50. Minus 50. Okay, so this doesn't change for either of them. Doesn't do shit again. Go away. Minus 50, minus 45, 50. Minus 50, minus 45, 50. This doesn't put it on the other side. That's my problem. I don't understand why it doesn't. Maybe it does. I wish I would have a button to move it to the other side first, then I would know. It should put it like way more to the other side. But okay, basically we have a functioning thing, except that the error that I have.
The maximum control later. I'm going to promote both of the vectors from the lerp to be variables. So I'm going to right click pin A and choose promote to variable. I'm going to call this L show cam lock, the left shoulder camera location.
So these are gonna be put variables. Left shoulder cam location. Okay.
I'm then going to repeat this for B and set that to R.
Okay. Okay.
Show cam location. And tidy this up so they're not on top of each other. And then press compile. You can now see that we can set both of these values by variables rather than coming to find the node that's affecting them.
So whatever it's gonna be, it's just gonna be the number that I like the most. Okay.
Because right now, if we were to change these variables, the camera would still start in the position that's set in the swing arm. So we need to go to the construction script, bring the spring arm in, drag out, and
construction scripts. Okay, let's go. So he dragged shoulder spring arm here. Okay. Get.
Type set relative location, because we're going to set the relative location.
Okay.
When the character is created. For the location, we're going to use the left shoulder camera location, and we should be good to go. So if we were to change both of these variables now, the camera will start in the right place and move to the correct place when we press Q. Both our cameras so far are fixed in place behind the character. This isn't always the case in third-person games, so in the next video, we're going to take a look at allowing the player to freely rotate the original follow camera around the character.
Okay. So this is basically all the camera thing that we needed to do. Okay, let's see. Play this nonsense. Q goes one way, other way, and then we have a... Ah, now it's on the other side. Ah! So it goes one way or other way. Okay, cool. Clear. Go away.
Another way that a camera can change the feel of gameplay is to give the player the ability to rotate the camera around the character, allowing them to look around as they move the character around the environment.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of setup is common in more adventure-focused character setups, such as those featured in the Assassin's Creed games. To set up the 3D rotating camera, we need to modify how the character blueprint responds to the player controller, and set up a new input action to allow the player to look up and down. We'll also limit how far the player can rotate the camera up and down by modifying the minimum and maximum pitch variables of the player camera manager. So the first step is to swap our cameras over. So we go back to...
So his camera is a little bit closer. Okay. Let's do that first. I didn't... let's go viewport. What? Why did that go way further down? Further there? Alright. Let's see. It's fine.
To do this, we're going to go into the character blueprint, select the follow camera, and turn all...
Character blueprint. He's in follow camera. And what did I need to do?
Auto activate back on.
Auto activate back on. Ah.
Then in the shoulder camera, we're going to turn it off.
Ah, so right now we were on shoulder camera. That's why it was.
Then compile and go back and just test this. Make sure the character is standing in the middle of the screen. Now we can go into the character blueprint and change some of the...
Ah. I can't deal with this window in here, like, never lets me do things. Alright, now camera button doesn't do shit. So what, we're clogging up this thing now?
Behaviors about how the character responds to input and rotation. In BP_StatPot cell, we're going to search for rot. We're going to turn...
Rot? Ah, rotation, not rot.
Off, use control rotation yaw. Then we're going to swap over to the character movement component with the same search. We're going to turn on orient rotation.
Orient rotation.
This will mean the character will automatically rotate to face the direction of movement. So that rotation is a bit snappier. We're going to change the rotation rate from 360 to 700. We're also going to go to the follow spring arm and turn on use pawn control rotation. With that done, we can compile and save and go back and test. We should now be able to rotate the camera freely around the box.
Ah. And again, I have this on my screen. What is this blueprint runtime error? I don't know. Yeah, mouse works perfectly. That's so cool.
When we give it input, the bot should automatically rotate in the direction of movement. We should be able to turn the character still by holding W and moving the mouse, and it will run in the direction we are looking. We can't at this point look up or down, so that's what we're going to add next. In the input folder, we need to add a new input action.
Input folder, input action. Okay, let's do it. Look up and down? Probably.
We're going to call this IA underscore lookup CC.
Mm-hmm.
This needs to be an Axis 1D value type, and then we can save.
Come on. Axis va? 1D float.
And then we can save and close. In the input mapping context, we now need to add our new mapping. We're going to add it to the list, select it, and
The EI lookup. Yeah.
set our controls. Lookup is going to be based on our mouse Y. We're also going to add gamepad, right thumbstick, Y. We need to add a modifier of a dead zone because it's an analog stick, and change the type to axial. We're going to save this and close it. To set up the controls for looking up, we need to go back to our event graph, right click.
God
Controls for
damn
looking
it.
up, we need to go back to save this and close it and change the type to axial.
Why it doesn't open this up ever? I wanna fucking change it. I'm like, just open this up the moment I'm doing something. So mouse has no dead zones. Good. Okay, so these are all my buttons right now.
Axial. We're going to save this and close it. To set up the controls for looking up, we need to go back to our event graph,
Stack bot event graph. Okay.
right click, and search for lookup CC.
Okay, so now we're gonna start doing this. I didn't do the CC in the end, but okay, it doesn't matter. Could change this still right now, right? Because it will be changing those by itself, even if I change the
I'll
name
actually
later.
place this next to my turn CC control. I'm going to drag out and type add controller pitch and connect the value to the action value. We should now be able to test this and see that we can look up and down. We have a slight issue that we test
add
this and
controller
see the action value.
pitch.
We should now be able to test this and controller pitch
Input, right? Yeah.
and connect the value to the action value. We should now be able to test this and see that we can look up and down.
Ah, okay. So right, this was the up and down thing. Down, no. Up, yes. I mean, like, I can't go through the map, so that's the correct part.
We have a slight issue that we can look very low and also directly over the top of the character. This isn't quite what we're looking for third-person gameplay. We can limit this using the player camera manager, but that's part of the player controller, so we need to create a new player controller and a new game mode to use it.
Mm.
So in the blueprint folder, I'm going to right click blueprint class and create a new game mode base.
Oh, so now we're gonna start making the game mode. Okay, cool.
I'm going to call this GM for game mode _ stackbot. I'm also going to right click into blueprint class and create a player controller. This is going to be PC _ stackbot.
Freshie, what's going on?
Set the defaults for our game mode.
What's going on, Freshie?
Stackbot.
Glad to see you here. How was your weekend? Oh, learning is hard. You're my boy, Blue.
I'm going to open up
Class in session? Yes, sir.
the game mode. And I'm going to set the defaults for our player controller class.
All right,
I'm
let's
going to open up the game mode.
All right, so let's do this again. Yeah, we're building games. Building games. Class in session. Yes, sir. You have a friend teaching you? No, it's free online courses that I can find as much as possible. So we already did that. Let me show you. So we already, I already finished my shooter game. So this is a little shooter game that I made. Let me show you how it plays. So basically we have a gun, we have a level, we have time, we have scores. I made my logo as a 3D in here. You gotta shoot these, they explode. You have a certain time frame to shoot them or find them. And now you're gonna lose because you're not gonna be able to shoot all of them. And they're all collapsing and destroying itself and everything. See, lost because I couldn't finish the last one. So, yeah. But yeah, level wise, you know, like this is made level and everything. Pretty cool. So this is the shooter that I finished, and now I'm trying to build basically a little platform game. So all the movement and everything soon will be coming, jumping and like all of this. It's basically how to build the character and make it jump and all of that we're learning right now. So yeah, little things coming slowly. So after I'm done with this, I want to do my own character and put the character moving and doing things the same way as this character right now does, because this is not mine. This is just a blueprint that I took. So I want to make my own 3D character, make the movements, make the animations and stuff, and see where I'm gonna end up with it. So it has 2 different camera angles, and now also I can make it so I can, like a third person, so I can move the camera up and down, left and right with my mouse. So we programmed just that one in. So now we're gonna do the game mode, and he's explaining what we need to figure, like what we need to add and not add to the game mode. Let me close this. Where's my where is my video? Okay, here. Okay, it was in our screen. So yeah, we're learning, building next DayZ soon, maybe. Who knows?
I'm going to set the defaults for our player controller class and our default pawn.
Okay, so what did he do now?
Class. I'm going to set the defaults for our player controller class and our default pawn.
So player control class is PC stackbot. I don't have that. Where did he get that from? Did he make that? Oh, he made the name as a PC stackbot. Did I do that? No, he has a... What did I miss right now?
Go to blueprint class and create a player controller. This is going to be PC _
Ah, player control. Okay, that's what I was missing. I'm like, what the hell did I just miss? I'm like, what the hell? Player controller, PC stack bot. So yeah, soon I want to change all of my character models and everything for my own, and then start building the level and everything else. So basically, I'm gonna try to do a platform game first, and then start with the 3D shooters and stuff that I really like.
I'm going to open up the game mode. And I'm going to set the defaults for our player controller class and our default pawn.
Okay, so default pawn and default class. Okay, so this is PC stack bot now. And then pawn class is the BP stack bot. Gotcha. Ambitious. I mean, like, I gotta start figuring out what I'm gonna do, and I'm really loving this right now. You know, like, this has been fun. I know it's a lot of work, but I mean, like, you gotta start from somewhere, right? Where's my... Where did the video go? Ah, video's here.
Both of these being those that we've created in the course. I'm going to close that down and go into the player controller.
Okay, let's compile, save. Ah, now we want player controller. Okay, let's open that up. I haven't opened that up yet. Okay, now I have it up here, up there. Why I have it differently than he does? Why don't I see the screen, viewports and stuff? It's the same thing, but why I don't see the... Something is off at the moment. Okay, I can put this in here for a second. No, don't do that. Don't grab. Okay, so it's the same basically that I have. Okay.
In the event graph, we're going to find event begin play. And we're going to create some nodes here. I'm going to right click and type get player camera manager. And I want
Get player camera manager. So I guess we need to know where player camera on that moment is.
the variables player controller get player camera manager, not the game one.
Ah, okay. I took the wrong one. Ah. Class, right? No. Not the class. What did he choose? What was the node? Get player camera manager as a controller. Huh. I don't have that. I do have that. Was this?
Game one.
No. No, it is this. But I have target self in here. He does not. He has older version of the Unreal, I think, what he teaches.
So I'm going to drop that in and I'm going to drag out. I'm going to search for view pitch. And I want set view pitch min. And I also want
set view pitch min. Okay, please stop doing things sometimes. Just want to put you away. I'm getting confused right now. Why is he doing these things? View pitch min. Okay, got it. Why put all of them on the ground? Literally.
pitch min. And I
So-
also want set view pitch max.
Ah, he wants both. Stop changing the fucking screens all the time.
I'm going to drop these in and add some reroute nodes just to tidy up.
Ah, so he puts both of them into each other. Why? That's how you do this time? Okay, let's see. I like it like this. I don't need to play with the nodes.
Yep. How easy this is to read. The minimum value we're going to set to minus 65. The maximum value we're going to leave as 0.
Minus 65 and 0. So this is the camera angle as much as you can turn it.
I'm going to compile and save.
What now? Ah, so it does have some other thing right now that I have error. Target needs to be a camera or something. This I do have an error in here. So now I need to figure this out. Was it get or set? Let me check this out again. It was get player camera manager, which is what I have. So this is this. Does it need to be class? No, it's not.
Variables player controller, get player camera manager, not the game one. So I'm going to drop that in and I'm going to drag out. I'm going to search for view.
But I don't have this. This blueprint self is not a player controller, therefore target must have a connection. Is it this? No, this is camera manager. So is this BP Stackbot? Cast. No. Okay, I can't do this right now because I'm gonna get an error. This blueprint self is not a controller, therefore target must have a connection. So this variable is player camera manager. But it doesn't have anything. There should be a node called get player camera manager, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking also, but like his video I think uses the older version of the Unreal, because I don't have that.
I'm going to close that down and go into the player controller. In the event graph, we're going to find event begin play. And we're going to create some nodes here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to type get player camera manager. And I want the variables player controller, get player camera manager.
So he gets them from player controller, but I don't have that. I do have this, and this is the one that I pulled out. It's under player control. It's the same thing. I just need to figure out what the target self is, because he doesn't have that. To get the events and everything else also on the screen. Interesting. No, Elad, I think, yeah, like something is enable context sensitive in the search. Yeah, but this is the same thing. See, this is the player controller that I need. It already finds them. If I enable it, it's gonna hide them. This is the same thing that he took, but I have target self. So I gotta figure out where this variable takes its information. Okay, let's see. See, I don't get it because I don't have it. I don't get the controller one if I'm having context sensitive. I'm getting casting only. And get, I don't need get. I don't need this. But I need to find the target now. So the target needs to be something that it's added a little bit later, which means, you know, like it needs to have events. Which mine does not right now. So see, if I'm pressing this, he has events. I can't do events yet because I haven't selected the class. I'm not sure you have to get the variable. Just get the one that shows up when you select context. Yeah, again, I tried to do that. It's not the same. It doesn't give me the options right now. So how I can get this, the node that I have as a player camera manager, it's the same thing. Just the target self needs to be figured out. That needs to be as a controller, which... Yeah, stream delay. I don't have a stream delay, but I think, you know, like it's just, I have 0 stream delay. I don't know what do you mean by stream delay. Shouldn't be any stream delay. But when I'm explaining things, I understand. Yes. Okay, so question is now, should I pull this, get, and then close this? No, this is not the same. Okay, so it needs to be a player controller. Where the freak I'm gonna find this? Because this is a... camera manager. So basically it needs to be shoulder camera or the follow camera that... I think it needs to be this. No? I guess not. Yes, let's see. Get player controller. Still an error. Huh. Alright, let's see what he's doing and mine needs to be doing now.
So I'm going to drop that in and I'm going to drag out. I'm going to search for view, pitch. And I want...
I did all of those.
Also, I'm going to drop these in and add some reroute nodes just to tidy up how easy this is to read. The minimum value we're going to set to minus 65. The maximum value we're going to leave as 0. I'm going to compile and save and close that down. Before we can test this, we need to override our game mode. So I'm going to click this button here and go to game mode not overridden, select our game mode base class, and then choose GM_stackbot. Now when I press play, I should only be able to look so far up and shouldn't be able to look down at all.
Ah, okay.
If you want to add a
So
little,
that's
now
what...
I press play, I should pass. Before we can test this, we need to override our game mode.
Okay.
So I'm going to click this button here and go to game mode not overridden, select our game mode base class, and then choose GM_stackbot.
Okay, so let's see now. Oh, I see you're doing this in the game mode class. He's doing in the player controller. He does it in player controller? Ah, my bad. Yes. Okay. That's what it was. Okay, so let's remove these. I made it in wrong spot. Okay. It's not in... It's in BP stack bot. It's in here. Maybe. Maybe not. What the fuck did I just do? Like, I'm like getting frustrated right now. Ah, he did it in PC stack bot, not in game mode stack bot. Okay, gotcha. That's why it didn't work. He did it in here. But in here I can't. Why don't I see the... Wait, what? How can I choose the blueprints in here? There's a blue button. Where do you see the blue button? This? The fuck? I am so confused right now. Oh, for fuck's sake, what it does? Where it... Why can't I choose the... No, it's not public view. Why don't have I viewport and event class on here? I don't understand why all of these have it and this one doesn't have it. Under the title. What do you mean under the title? I am so confused right now. Oh, this is this. Why can't I see event graph? Wow. Okay, never mind. Like, fucking, can you hide this? Like, why? Okay, never mind. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. It's too fucking crazy. Okay, let's put these back in here, and then this one was the player control. Okay, so yes, a bit easier this time. Because this one, it gave me the correct one now. Thanks, Elad. I would be fucking going nuts in here because I had this one open in here and then I did all the mistakes in this one. I'm like, what the fuck? Or it was this one? Doesn't matter. Okay. God damn it. That's why we can't have nice things. Alright, I guess let's continue with the same thing what he did now.
The minimum value we're going to set to minus 65.
I have that.
The maximum value we're going to leave as 0. I'm going to compile and save.
Yeah, it was so fucked up.
Before we can test this, we need to override
But that's the thing with these guys. Thanks, man. But that's the thing with these, like when you're learning and stuff, like you get frustrated on certain things, you know, like, and you just don't understand what did you do wrong on that moment. And now I know if I can't get it, you know, like it's just like a little text, you know, I just press there.
Go to game mode, not overridden. Select our game mode base class and then choose GM_stack.
Okay, so he wants me to change the game mode. Okay, I can't go over the top and I can't go low. Perfect. Works. Sweet. Oh yeah. There's so many things that are like press here and then it opens up again.
I should only be able to look so far up and shouldn't be able to look down at all.
Okay.
If you want to add a little bit of ability to bring the camera down, you can go back into the player controller and just set this view pitch max to 10.
Oh, okay.
This will give us just enough so that we can have that little bit of ability to look up, but without going too close to the floor or ending up underneath the character.
Ah, so he adds 10 more, so okay. Gotcha. Okay, and then this one is done again, right?
We can now control our camera. There are a lot of variables we can change in the setup to provide subtly different experiences. Try exploring different ideas by changing the length of the spring arm, angle of the camera, pitch maximum and minimum, and any other settings you can find. A camera can make a huge difference to the feel of a third-person game, so in making your own games, be sure to spend plenty of time exploring these settings. For the remaining videos in this course, we're going to continue using the freely rotating camera we've just implemented. If you want to swap back to the over-the-shoulder camera, simply swap the auto-activation balls on each of the cameras.
Do you use this also?
Video, we're going to start
Elad?
with the animation.
You do game development? Or what you're using Unreal for? Blend spaces, what the hell is that?
In this video, we're going to create our character's first blend space. Blend spaces allow us to blend animations in real time based on 1 or 2 parameters,
Okay.
depending on our requirements. A normal blend space uses 2 parameters to drive a 2-dimensional graph, whereas a blend space 1D only uses 1. We're going to set up a 1-dimensional blend space to begin with to get our character moving.
Oh.
To create our blend space, I'm first going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this one Animation.
Okay, of course you do. Okay. Oh, I love this. I can't see anything. Folder. Animation.
And inside, I'm going to right click and go to Animation, Blend Space 1D. I'm going to select the bot and call this BS1D underscore idle run.
Okay, what did he choose now in here? Blend space 1D and SK bot. So he already has the thing in there. New animation. Animation what? Blend space? SK bot. Okay.
I'm going to select the bot and call this BS1D underscore idle run.
Bullshit 1D idle run. Okay.
I'm going to open it up. And then in the horizontal axis settings,
Let's open this up. And so, horizontal axis settings. Okay.
going to set the name to speed, the minimum axis value to 0.
Yeah, boy!
Lottie with a yeah boy. Nice.
This is
How's
the
it going,
maximum
Lottie?
speed we're going to set the character to be up to.
500. Okay.
Walk later on. You can set the grid divisions to 1 because we only have 2 animations that we're going to use at this point. One for idle and one for running.
No, it's Blend Space 1D. You choose Blend Space. If I'm not wrong, it should be in Legacy tab. In okay, yeah, I got it. Ah. I mean, like, is there a difference? I don't think there is a difference in the new version. You dying at work, Lottie? Why you dying at work? Elad, I think it's the same on the newer version because I think they changed this. So if you use like, let's see. If I do it animation, you said in maybe Legacy. Oh, Blend Space 1D. There is one. Yeah, okay. Let's do it again. BS 1D idle run 1 at the moment, and then let's delete this. This one I can close. Delete. Okay, let's open this up. Sinuses? God damn it, Lottie. That's why we can't have nice things ever. Alright, let's do it again. I think it's still the same thing. Because I think it automatically understands how many blend spaces you will have as much as you put the things in, but
First, we're going to drag the
we'll see.
idle animation in. So from the asset browser on the right-hand side, we're going to grab a_bot_idle and drag it to speed equals 0.
oh, okay. But idle. So right here, drag it to 0. No, I didn't want to drag it there. Dumb. Okay.
You should see the character pop into an idle animation in the viewport.
Does it? It does something. I'm learning how to build games, Lottie. So basically, like I showed already, this is the shooter game that I just finished before. Not before, but with two days. So basically, you go in, you have a gun, you can shoot. I made my own logo in 3D in here, so you have things that destroy itself. You need to shoot them. You have shooting animation, you have bullets. You have destruction. And you win a game. So this one I programmed before. Now I'm doing a little platform game.
For 500, we can use a_bot_run and just drop that in place.
Okay. A bot run. Okay, so on here, he does something else. Okay, cool.
Now when I hold Control and drag my mouse along the graph, you'll see the character begin to run. This is our preview point, and
You gotta hold Control. Doesn't run for me. That's it? That's the whole movement it does? Okay. He does the same thing. No. Easy's running. Mine is not running. Why is his running and mine's not running? Why is mine not running? What is this nonsense? How is his running?
Underscore run, and just drop that in place. Now when I hold control and drag my mouse along the graph, you'll see the character begin to run. This is our preview point, and it's quite handy to check that we've...
Ah, never mind. He has also... Yeah, you like the shooter one? Yes. No, I think it's this. It needs to be on at the same time. Yeah, now it runs. Okay, so the animation needs to run also same time. So this is idle, slow walk, and then it runs. Okay, gotcha. No, this one wasn't running for me. That's why it was weird. Yeah, shooters we can do. Like it's all doable.
Set up our animations correct.
I need to start getting designs soon.
Now we have the first blend space created. We can use it instead of the idle animation in the animation blueprint. In the next video, we're going to use our run blend space to get the character moving.
The what now we're gonna use? Yeah, let's save. So I guess we got this one working too now. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm trying to see how to do jetpacks and all the modeling and stuff. So doing a little blender here too. So there's a lot of things going on, laddie. I think I gave up with CompTIA. I wanna try to learn this. I think this seems way more my alley than other things. Okay, so lame. Why lame? This is much more fun, laddie. I'm telling you right now.
In this video, we're going to create the first parts of our animation blueprint. Animation blueprints use two different types of graphs. Event graphs, just like a character blueprint, and animation graphs, which use blueprint nodes to determine which animation should be played on the skeletal mesh during gameplay. Animation blueprints can easily become very complex. We're going to start simple by making use of a blend space we just created to make the character run when we move it around the world. As you progress through the course, we will expand this.
I haven't quit yet, laddie. You know, like I'm still thinking maybe I do the A plus at least, but this is way more fun. So APB stack
delete
bot.
the A_bot_idle node.
Okay.
And replace it with our BS1D_idle run.
Okay, so we're gonna do that now. And this one was the idle run. Gotcha. And then we can change the speed on it. Cool.
Going to connect the animation pose pin to the result pin, and then right-click the speed variable input and select Promote to Variable.
Okay.
I'm going to rename this ground speed. And press N.
How far into UE are you? So basically, third day, like third day streaming, basically fifth day learning, figured out how to build 3D world with and how to build a game inside this world, how to do 3D things like 3D modeling from my own logo. I did a little 3D stuff, so see it has like depth and everything. I need to make it a little bit better, so Like it works better. Learn how to do targets, how to do physics. So a little bit, maybe 0.05%.
So this has now given us a float variable which will drive our blend space. So I'm going to press compile and save, and then move over to the event graph.
Okay, compile and save, and then event graph. Okay, let's go. Yes,
In the event graph, you're gonna get the
0.05%
speed of our
maybe.
character as it moves around the world, and use that to drive the animation.
I don't know shit yet about Unreal, to be honest.
So
I've just
from
seen
try get
videos.
pawn owner, we're going to drag out and search for a node called is valid.
Is valid.
There's two options. We want the one with a question mark.
Okay. So let's put this in the corner here so I can see it a bit better. I can't see it because this is too big for now. Is valid with a question mark. Cool.
Which has an exec pin which we can plug into our logic chain. Then going to drag out of try get pawn owner again and search for the movement component. We're going to get the movement component and then drag out and type get velocity. We only want the 2D velocity for the X and Y. We don't want to consider the velocity of vertical movement. So to do that, we're going to drag out velocity and type break and choose break vector. And I want to make a vector again. I'm going to drag out of X and type make vector. I'm going to connect in the Y. And then from the return value, we want to get the vector length. The vector length is what's going to set our ground speed. So we can drag ground speed in, choose set, and then plug that together. I'm going to drag this into the isValid node and compile and save. Before we test anything, I'm just going to go over to the character blueprint and change the maximum walk speed to match our blend space. I'm going to go to the character movement component and in the search.
So on BP stack bots. BP stack bot, where is this?
Search box, type max walk.
Okay, max walk speed.
Where we have 600 centimeters per second, we're going to change this to 500. We then compile and save, and we can give this a little test. Now when we run around the world, we should have our...
Okay. So basically we can play this already. It's simulating on the wrong... Oh, no, never mind. All right, we have movement. Tink donk, tink donk, tink donk. That's cool. And we see the modes hitting. Nice. Cool. Works.
animation playing. Now that we've established a link between the character blueprint and the animation blueprint, we can start to expand the animation system to respond to a variety of different variables and situations, providing an improved player experience and player character.
Okay. Cool. Let's continue.
In this video, we're going to develop the animation system using a state machine, and also implement leaning animations as part of a 2D blend space to replace our original blend space 1D.
The what now?
Our original blend space was a blend space 1D, which only allows us to blend animations based on one variable.
Okay.
The Stackerbot project includes some leaning run animations, where the character leans in the direction he is turning whilst running. Using these animations helps the character feel more realistic and balanced. We're also going to build our first state machine. State machines provide a graphical approach.
Whatever that
each
is.
animation should be played using a series of states, transition rules, and blend settings. So let's go into our animation folder, right-click, and create a new animation blend space. You're going to select the SK bot.
Excuse me? Oh, sneeze.
And we're going to call this BS underscore walk run lead.
BS walk run lean. Okay, let's go back. This window. Did he use the skeleton also again? He did, right?
Folder. Right click and create a new animation blend space. You're going to select the SK bot.
Oh, okay, yeah, he did use SK bot.
And we're going to call this BS underscore walk run lead. I'm going to open it up. And the first things we're going to do is set our axis settings.
Okay, so let's put this back. Let's open this up. Okay, so this one works. This one came up properly. Okay, so what are we doing now? So on vertical axis.
For the vertical axis, we're going to replicate what we had in our 1D blend space. So we're going to call it speed, set our minimum axis value.
On a vertical? Why are we doing that on vertical now? Ah, no, this is the speed, how fast it leans and stuff.
And our maximum axis value to 500.
500, okay. So this is 500 what?
We're also going to set the subdivisions to 1.
Grid divisions 1, okay.
To turn on snap to grid this time, so that when we place our animations, they snap into the variables.
Okay.
For the horizontal axis, we're going to call this lean. Our
Lean.
minimum axis value will be -1, our maximum will be 1, and our grid divisions will be 4.
Okay,
I'm also going to turn on snap to grid again, so that
Okay.
it makes life a little bit easier.
that's fine.
Now we're going to bring in the animations. At 0, 0, we're going to bring in a underscore bot underscore walk.
At 0, 0. So basically this corner then, right? No, he brought it in the middle. Ah, okay. Right. Gotcha.
At 0 speed,
I'll move this a little bit so I can see better.
at 0 lean and 500 speed, we're going to bring in a underscore bot underscore run.
Okay, so all the way on the top, he puts a run. So straight thing is running. Gotcha.
At -1 lean and 500 speed, we're going to bring in lean right. And up.
How is that right side? A bot run. Ah, because it's mirrored. Never mind. Because I'm looking at it. That's why. And lean left is probably on this corner then.
1 lean and 500 speed, we're going to bring in lean left. Now if I hold control and move our preview value, you can see we have our run animation. As we move across the other axes, the character.
Ah. Cool. Oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna be animator soon.
Begins to lean. If we slow the run down, it slowly fades out the lean to have no lean at all when we're back in the middle. Go this way, he'll lean the other way, and if we change direction whilst running, you see the character's lean changes.
That's pretty cool. That's so fucking cool.
So next we need to go back to the animation blueprint. So I'm going to save and close this down and open up the animation blueprint.
Wow.
So in our animation blueprint, we're going to swap back over to the anim graph. Then we can delete out the ground speed and BS1D idle run nodes. And replace these with a state machine. To do this, I'm going to right click and I'm going to type new state. And I'm going to select add new state machine. I'm going to click this and call it ground locomotion. And then connect up the output pin into the result. I'm going to double click the state machine to enter it.
Why I don't have a state machine? Give me a second.
State idle run nodes. And replace these with a state machine. To do this, I'm going to right click and I'm going to type new state. And I'm going to select.
Why I don't have add new state machine? Why don't I have this? Nope, this is not the same, right?
Add new state machine.
Oh, it is.
I'm going to click this and call it ground locomotion.
Ground locomotion, why?
And then connect up the output pin into the result. I'm going to double click the state machine to enter it and then drag out of entry to create our first state. I'm going to select add state and I'm going to call this idle. I'm going to open this up and drag in the a_bot_idle animation and connect that up.
Wait. He opened this up?
Idle, and I'm going to call this idle. I'm going to open this up and drag in the a_bot_idle animation and connect that up.
That's pretty cool. So basically doing it by node. Okay.
Now, from the idle state, from its border, I'm going to drag out again and create a second state. This state I'm going to call walk, run, lean. You'll notice this created a new state and a transition. Then I'm going to create a second transition back from walk, run, lean to idle. To do this, we're going to drag from the border and connect it to idle. So now we have a transition in and out. In walk, run, lean, I'm going to bring in the new BS walk, run, lean blend space. I'm going to connect it up and then bring in the in walk, run, lean, I'm going to bring in the new BS walk, run, lean blend space. I'm going to connect it up and then bring in the ground speed variable as a get node and plug that into speed. So I now want a new variable for lean. So I'm going to right click and select promote to variable. And I'm going to rename it lean amount. Now I'm going to go back to the ground locomotion state machine and set our transitions. Our transition from idle to walk, run, lean is going to be when the character is moving. And inversely, when the character isn't moving, we're going to come back. So I'm going to double click the transition node. And in here, I'm going to bring in ground speed as a get node and then drag out. And I want greater than 0. So when ground speed is greater than 0, we're going to transition into our blend space. To transition out, we're going to use the ground speed again. This time we're going to use less than or each transition out in space.
That was it? I guess that was it. Okay.
To transition out, we're going to use the ground speed again. This time we're going to use less than or equal.
Less equal.
To 0 and plug that in. Now we can compile and save.
And that's it.
And now we can move to our event graph to create the function for calculating lean. So to do this, we're going to create a new function by clicking the plus. And we're going to call this calc lean. To calculate the lean of the character, we're going to look at the rotation of the character on the previous frame of animation to the current frame, work out what the difference is, and then determine whether the character needs to lean left or right.
Okay.
So to do that, we're going to right click and get our owning actor. This will get the character blueprint. I want to drag out and get actor rotation. From here, I'm then going to use a delta node. So a delta rotator. I'm going to disconnect this and swap it over to the B pin. For the A pin, I'm going to promote to a variable. I'm going to call this previous rotation.
What did you do?
I'm going to promote to a variable. I'm going to call this previous rotation. So every time this runs, we're going to be checking our previous rotation against our current rotation. And we're going to use that to set our lean amount. So I'm going to use set lean amount, and I'm going to plug that in here. So to use our rotator to set the lean amount, first we're going to split the return value. We only want the Z value, so we only want the yaw of the character. We don't care at this point about the roll or the pitch.
Wait. How did you get the XYZ
so to
there?
use our rotator to set the lean amount, first we're going to split the return value. We only want the Z value, so we only want the yaw of the character. We don't care at this point about the roll or the pitch. So I'm going to drag out of lean amount, and I'm going to look for a node called finterp2. The finterp2 node allows us to interpolate between our current value and a target value. So our current value is going to be lean amount, and our target value is going to be the Z value from the delta rotator. For delta time, we're going to drag out and type target value is going to be.
Okay.
The finterp2 node allows us to interpolate between our current value and a target value.
Okay.
So our current value is going to be lean amount.
Okay, so current is lean amount. Gotcha.
And our target value is going to be the Z value.
Okay. That can go up in here then. Doesn't.
From the delta rotator.
Okay.
For delta time, we're going to drag out and type get world and select get world delta seconds. For the interp speed, we're simply going to set this to 2. The last thing we need to do is set the previous rotation value before we go and check it. And the previous rotation after this calculation is going to be our current rotation. So I'm going to drag previous rotation in and select a set node, and then connect this into our set lean amount. I'm going to connect the previous rotation pin to get actor rotation. I'm going to add a couple of reroute nodes just to generally tidy this graph up so we can read it a bit easier. We then need to go back to our event graph and add our calc lean function.
So that was get actor, right? Was it like this, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay, so it goes right there. That's beautiful.
So we can read it a bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
We then need to go back to our event graph and add our
So we go now event graph again. Okay. So something is always hitting something. So always executing.
calc lean function to be called every time the animation frame is up.
Calc lean function needs to go here now. Okay.
Updated. So now we can compile and save. Now I can go back to our map and press play. And now when I run around and turn, you can see the character is leaning.
Ah, okay. Let's compile. Let's see. Let's play. Yeah, it does lean. Not smooth, but it's leaning. Oh no! Down is up. No, down is down. Up is up. Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. Next. Jumping. Okay. Jumping.
So far, our character has only been able to move around the floor.
Mm-hmm.
In this section of the course, we're going to give the character the ability to jump and eventually hover with a jetpack.
Right.
First up, let's take a look at adding the jump functionality. The character blueprint class already has the ability to jump. We simply need to activate it using a jump node. In order for the player to be able to make the character jump, we need to set up a new input action in the enhanced input system. Once the character is jumping, we're going to modify some variables to improve the feel of the jump. To set up our jump, first we need an input action. So I'm going to create a new input action and call this one IA_jump CC.
Okay. Start with the input actions then. New input action. Input action. I'll jump CC. There we have it.
I'm going to open this up and make sure there is a digital ball.
Digital. Yes, it is digital.
And then save.
Okay, it is digital. Cool. Save, close, we good.
And close. I'm going to go into the input mapping context.
Right, input mapping. That was this one.
And add our new input action.
Right, jumping now. Input action, jump. And
I'm going
spacebar.
to set the controls for this to space.
Uh-huh.
And also the gamepad face bottom button.
Gamepad face button. Ah, so it basically it just gamepad face button. Okay.
I'm going to save and close
Okay, because it's a button, then it's easier, and it's fine.
that down. And in the character blueprint,
Beep,
I'm now
beep.
going to add the logic for our jump.
Okay.
So I'm going to right click and type jump CC. I'll put in our input action event. And triggered, I'm going to drag out and type jump. This is all we need to do to make our character jump. I'm going to go into the level and I'm going to press space. You can see the character now jumps.
Really? That's the whole thing? Mine doesn't. What? Mine doesn't. Mine doesn't jump. The hell did we do wrong? What did we do wrong?
Type jump. This is all we need to do to make our character jump. I'm going to go into the level and I'm going to press space. You can see the character now jump.
Mine doesn't. Why doesn't mine jump? Okay. I guess let's go back. Let's see that we did everything correctly.
We simply need to activate it using a jump node. In order for the player to be able to make the character jump, we need to set up a new input action in the enhanced input system. Once the character is jumping, we're going to modify some variables to improve the feel of the jump. To set up our jump, first we need an input action. So I'm going to create a new input action and call this one IA_jump CC. I'm going to open this up and make sure there is a digital ball, and then save and close.
Wait. He had something else chosen there.
Sure, there is a digital ball.
Consume input. He has something on action. Consume. I don't know. I don't have that. Everything seems to be the same on here. So, okay, next.
And then save and close. I'm going to go into the input mapping context and add our new input action.
So, input mapping. Wrong one. That's why. That's what it was. Good. We figured it out. That's what it was. And now we're jumping. Right. Okay. Cool. Give me 2 minutes. I'll go restroom quickly. Please enjoy the music. Okay. Oh, 3 o'clock. Let's put the soccer on. Eurogame. Give me a second. In a second. Give me a second, boys and girls. I'll back almost. Trying to put the Euro 24 on the other screen. On a laptop, not the other screen. Okay, so it's on the background. At least I see it. Okay, so we got it jumping. So now we need to finish this part and then let's see.
This is all we need to do to make our character jump.
Okay, so
You
it
go
was
into
jumping. We tested.
And
It's
press
all good.
space. You can see the character now
Oh,
jumps.
head.
We obviously don't have an animation, which we'll look at soon.
Mhm.
But first, I want to make the jump a little bit more interesting,
Okay.
and a little bit less floaty. So back in the character blueprint, I'm going to go to the character movement and search for jump. Under jump Z velocity, I'm going to change this from 420 to 900.
Oh.
I'm then going to search for gravity and set the gravity scale to 2.5.
Why? Why are we changing gravity from? Why are we changing gravity scale from a player, not from the world?
I'm going to compile and save once again. And
Okay, so how's the jumping now? Little quicker. So it pulls it back a bit quicker.
test it out. Now the jump has a lot more pop and comes down a little bit quicker. This just gives us a much more interesting jump that is a lot less floaty.
Okay.
Jumping is another aspect of a character which can have significant effects on how a game feels and how challenging it is to play. Part of the design process for a game involves balancing the height of a jump to the height of objects in the world, or the length of gaps the player needs to jump over. Another part of the process is making sure the jump feels right. Explore the effect that changing the jump Z velocity and gravity scale have on the experience of jumping with the character.
Okay.
How they change the jump timing, distance, and trajectory. Next up, we're going to handle the jumping in the animation blueprint.
Okay. Should have added all in the same one, but we're almost done with this one.
With the functionality of jumping set up, the next step is to expand the animation blueprint to include the required states for jumping. We're going to create a second state machine which is going to handle the character's required animations when in the air. In order to use two state machines, we're going to use a cached pose. This is where we store the animation from one part of the graph for reuse elsewhere. The air locomotion state machine will make use of a variety of transition rules, including the automatic rule, which automatically transitions out of a state as the animation is finishing. So once again, we're going to expand our animation blueprint. So first we're going to open it up, then we're going to head over to the anim graph. We're going to head back out.
So we were in the ABB Stackbot and anim graph. Where did you take that? How did you take that?
Anim graph. We're going to head back.
Got it. Okay, found it. So we have that ground locomotion here.
Okay, we're going to detach our state machine. From the state machine, we're going to drag out of the pin, and we're going to type cache, and select New Save Cached Pose. I'm going to rename this cache pose Ground Loco Cache.
Wait. Hang on. Can't find the same thing.
Pose, and select New Save. Drag out of the pin. I'm going to type cache, and select New
Save cached pose. Okay, got it.
Save Cached Pose. I'm going to rename this cache pose Ground Loco Cache. Cached poses allow us to reuse the result of the state machine or any other part of our graph in other parts of the animation. So making this cache will allow us to reuse it somewhere else. I'm then going to create a new state machine right-clicking a new state. I'm going to call this state machine air locomotion. I'm going to call right-clicking a new state.
I don't have that again. Why can't I do new state machine? Alright, whatever. Doesn't
I'm going to call this
sometimes.
state machine air locomotion. I'm going to connect this in and head into our state machine. I'm going to drag out of entry and create our first state. This state is going to be called ground loco. Inside the ground loco state, we're going to use the ground loco cache. So I'm going to right click and search for ground loco and select use cache to pose ground loco cache. And then
Okay, let's go back a
we're
little.
going to use the ground loco cache. So I'm going to right called ground loco. Inside the ground loco state, we're going to use the ground loco cache. So I'm going to right click and search for ground loco and select use cache to pose ground loco cache. And then I'm just going to plug this in. We're then going to create 3 new states for our jumping. So I'm going to drag out of ground loco and create a state. And I'm going to call this state jump. I'm going to drag out again to create another state and call this fall. And create a third state called land. Then going to drag from land to ground loco to create our final transition. I'm going to move these around just to tidy them up a little bit to make it a little bit easier to follow. And then we're going to go and set our animations. So inside jump, we're going to use a_bot_i. So inside it a little bit easier to follow. And then we're going to go and set our animations. So inside jump, we're going to use a_bot_idle jump.
A bot idle jump.
Inside fall,
I would love to see how to make them animations.
a_bot_.
I gotta learn how to make these myself. The animations.
Fall. And then in land.
The land is land, I'm pretty sure. No, never mind.
And we're going to use a_bot_land idle.
Ah, yeah, right. Okay, land idle. Okay.
And connect that up.
That's it.
Now we need to set our transitions.
What about this one? We don't need that. Ah, no, that's
Firstly,
animation.
we're going to go into the ground loco to jump transition. And we're going to right click the canon to transition and promote this to a variable. We're going to call this is in air. This
Rename. Why can't I? It should be on this side. Yep. Is it Boolean? Or linear?
variable is going to be set to true when the character is in the air. So when the character is in the air, we'll enter our jump state. Enter our jump is in the air. We're going to call this is in air. This variable is going to be set to true when the
Okay, let's make it nicer. But where is it? It doesn't let me choose.
character is in the air. So when the character is in the air, we'll enter our jump state.
Okay.
From jump to fall, we're going to make use of the automatic
Jump to fall automatic rule. Okay. Automatic rule based on the sequence. Okay, cool.
transition. From fall to land, we're going to once again bring in is in air, but this time we're going to drag out and we're going to search for a not boolean. This not boolean node will take the is in air and it will return true when is in air is false. So when is in air is false, we enter our transition. For land to ground loco, we're going to use the automatic rule-based transition again.
Okay.
Now all that's left to do is go back to the event graph and add
Back to event graph.
the check for is in air. So from the movement component,
From the movement component. Okay, that's somewhere here. Right here.
we're going to drag out and we're going to search for is falling.
Okay.
So when the character is falling, is in air is going to be true. So I'll drag in is in air and use a set node. Link this
Oh, wait. Ah, it goes on the top, so I guess let's move these on the higher end.
into our existing chain and plug this together. It doesn't matter what order we set these variables. I've just done it here for ease and tidiness. Now we can compile and save and head over to our test.
Compile. Save. Let's see. What it's
Now
supposed
when
to.
I jump, we have our animation.
Ah, animation. Let's see. Yeah, we do have an animation. We're playing with hands. And we're jumping with feet. Nice. Cool.
One issue we do have is that when we're running and we play the animation, the character lands flat-footed, as you can see here. Now, if we stop, that looks okay. When we're moving, it slides. That's what we're going to look to fix in the next video.
Ah,
The current state machine has only one jump and one land animation, which doesn't look quite right when the character is moving. If we were to use animations which did work when the character is running, it equally wouldn't look right when the character is stationary. In the next video, we're going to add some additional states and use the speed and input variables.
okay. Cool. Let's go.
In this video, we're going to improve the feel of the animations when jumping and landing. Animations can make or break the believability of a character. Something as simple as how the character animates when jumping and landing is key to providing the slick player characters we are used to in modern games. One of the key focuses when setting up animations should always be the feet. If a character's feet slide across the floor when they should be running, and inversely slide when they should be stationary, we risk damaging that sense of immersion.
Okay.
So for our jump animation, we're going to use a blend space. So in animation, I'm going to create a new blend space 1D.
Blend space 1D under animation. Okay. the side a little bit. Stop doing this.
Select skbot and call this bs1d underscore jump.
Okay. Animation. It was in Legacy. Blend Space 1D. I guess the scale. So I need to make a skeleton for my character, and then I can basically put it on. I think. BS1D jump.
Inside the blend space,
I have so many of them open already, it's not funny.
you're going to set up the horizontal axis to be speed.
It's speed. I need some speed.
Use our same minimum and maximum values we've used on our other
500.
The grid divisions this time are going to be set to 5, and I'm going to turn on snap to grid.
5 and snap to grid. Okay.
We're going to add 2 animations to the graph. The first is idle jump, which can be placed at 100, and the second is run.
Idle jump at 100.
Jump, which is going to be placed at 200. This means that when the character is good, and the second is run jump, which is going to be placed at 200.
Run jump.
This means that when the character is traveling between 0 and 100 on speed, it will use the 2-footed jump. When it's above 200, it will use the 1-footed jump. And anywhere in between, it will blend depending on the value.
Okay.
So I can save this and close it down. And we can
That's it? That's the whole animation? Okay, cool.
go over to our animation blueprint to work this in. In the state machine, we're going to go into our jump state and replace the A.
Okay. And he said on jump animation, right?
Underscore bot underscore idle jump animation with our new blend space 1D jump.
Ah.
I'm going to plug it in. We're going to bring in our ground speed variable and connect that up. We're going to go back to the blend space and delete the land state.
Oh, I don't need to use land? What? What? What?
Then going to drag out of fall and create a conduit. I'm going to call the conduit land. From the conduit, we're then going to create 2 new states. I'm going to drag out of land and create a new state, and I'm going to call this land idle. And to create a second state called land run. I'm going to connect both of these up to ground loco to create our transitions. And now I'm going to set the animations. So for land idle, I'm going to use a underscore bot underscore land idle. I'm going to use, and now I'm going to set the animations. So for land idle, I'm going to use
About land idle.
a underscore bot underscore land idle. And for land run, I'm going to use a underscore bot underscore land run. So I'm going to go into the land conduit and turn on canon.
Ooh, we're getting somewhere.
So I'm going to go into the land conduit and turn on canon to
Land conduit. Ah, okay, so this one.
So I'm going to go into the land conduit and turn on canon to transition.
Okay.
I don't want to put any other rules in here. I just want to make sure that we always go straight through. For the fall to land.
To the fall to land. Okay.
I'm going to use the is in air and not Boolean nodes in order.
Uh-huh. Is in air.
To enter the transition. So when we're not in the air, we're going to enter the transition. Now when it comes to land idle and land run, we're going to make use of a new variable.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into the land run transition and promote the variable. This variable is going to be called movement input question mark.
Okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
for the land idle, we're going to use movement input and the not boolean note.
Movement input, not boolean. Land to what?
And then for the land idle,
Land to land idle. Okay. It's this one.
we're going to use movement input.
Get movement input. Not boolean.
And the not boolean node.
Okay.
For both the land idle to ground loco and land run to ground loco, we're going to turn on the automatic rule-based trans.
So this is automatic rule. Okay, cool.
Position. Now we're going to go into the event graph to set
Okay.
up our movement input check. We're going to right click and type try get pawn and use our try get pawn owner node.
Got it.
Going to drag out of the try get pawn owner and I will last movement. I'm going to choose get last movement input vector.
Stop
And then from
putting.
here and drag out and type length.
Last movement input vector, right? Yep. And that
I want vector length.
vector length. Got it.
And then I'm going to drag out to create a greater than node.
Creator. Okay. Okay.
So when the vector length is greater than 0, movement input, which we're going to drag in and choose as set node, is going to be true.
Aha.
So when the player has provided input, it will be true. When they haven't, it will be false. And that will choose whether to land with flat feet or running feet.
Okay.
We can compile and save and head back to our map. For testing, I'm going to make the floor a little bit bigger. This is so I've got plenty of space to run around in. Now when I run around and jump, we no longer have the two-footed landing.
Do we? Do we not have two-footed landing? I'm not so close. Oh, we do. It literally goes backwards and like lands basically 1 feet at a time. Nice. That's so cool. I already want to change my character
but when we land stationary, we have a 2-footed landing. If I run and jump and stop giving it input, it will land 2-footed. So this is working well.
Okay.
The alternative animations, whilst relatively simple to implement, make a big difference to how natural the character feels as we run around.
So we're gonna add a jetpack now. Nice.
In
10 minutes.
this video, we're going to implement a simplified version of the jetpack featured in the Stackerbot project. This system is still a little bit more complex than anything we've built so far, as it uses multiple functions to make the necessary changes to how the character behaves when we use the jetpack. We're going to start by adding all of the components we need, including a jetpack skeletal mesh, a Niagara particle system, and an audio component which will use a meta sound source. We will then develop the jetpack functionality by modifying the jump logic and creating a function to apply the physical effect to the character. So first, we're going to add our various components.
Okay.
In the character blueprint, we're going to swap to the viewport and select the mesh.
BP Stackbot and we mesh. Okay. Okay.
Then click Add and add a skeletal mesh. I'm going to call this
Add skeletal mesh. Okay.
Jetpack, and then set the skeletal mesh to be Backpack.
Ah.
This will place the jetpack at the character's feet. We're going to go to Parent Socket and choose Backpack Socket.
Ah, there is like a sockets even for that? Really? Wow. Wow.
You should now see the backpack snap on the character's back.
It did.
With that done and the jetpack selected, we're going to now add a Niagara particle system component.
Niagara
gonna call
particle
it
system. Okay.
Jetpack FX. For Parent Socket, I'm going to set Thruster Socket left, and then choose the Jetpack Thruster particle system. The jetpack for Parent Socket, I'm going to set Thruster Socket left.
Okay, parent socket. Thruster socket left. Ah, gotcha.
And then choose the Jetpack Thruster particle system. Should immediately see the jetpack thruster start playing.
Oh, we do. We have fire.
We're going to turn off auto activate. Last, we're going to select the capsule component. Click.
Give me a second. I'm gonna grab a little bit of food. Quickly, I'll be back.